I don't want to block these.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. Welcome to the Dietl Art and Performance Space.
Yeah.
Here in the scenic Dietl Arts District.
Soda.
That's south of the airport for the uninitiated. As you can see, Joe is an incredibly talented artist. So if a painting catches your eye, I'm sure he can cut you a really good deal. And I want to thank Ben and Joe for allowing me to do this here tonight. This is their space. This is their, where they perform and they do all their creativity. But let's be honest, with our shared history, they didn't have much of a choice. Tonight we're celebrating the release of my father always finds corpses, and which is, believe it or not, my 35th published book. It would be such a long-term career plan. This one's very, very special because it brings back a character I first introduced way back in 2003 in my debut novel, The Actor's Guide to Murder. And it's about Jared Jarvis, a gay former child star who once headlined a sitcom called Go to Your Room. And he was also known for his iconic catchphrase, "Baby, don't even go there." He also dabbled in solving Hollywood homicides between acting auditions with the help of his hot cop boyfriend, Charlie. Based on this Charlie. we barely knew each other. Flash forward 20 years, and Jared is now in his late 50s. He's retired, but still creatively kicking, like a lot of us, I'm familiar. Living right here in Palm Springs. He's also a widower and a father to a 22-year-old daughter, Liv, who's a recent criminology grad. The two of them have kind of grown apart over the years, but when Liv's ambitious filmmaker boyfriend turns up dead, Jared dusts off his sleuthing skills and they team up to crack the case. It's a murder mystery, but it's also about reconnecting and healing and learning that sometimes the best way to bond is over a dead body. Now, I'm going to read two very short chapters. And don't worry, I have timed it. It's about 13 minutes. So feel free to check your watches if you're going, when is this thing ever going to end? It might burn back there. So, here we go. Oh, thank you. I'm really intimidated because I just started listening to the audio version of this book, and the actor is really good, and I'm not going to hold a candle to it. I was going to. I could be drinking wine next to Sashi here. Yeah, there's an open seat right there. All right, here we go. God help us all. Jared sat at his long dining room table and stared out beyond the sliding glass door at the large kidney-shaped shimmering swimming pool with its cascading waterfall and symphony of lights painting the water's surface with a mosaic of dancing reflections. The towering palm trees were silhouetted against the indigo sky, their fronds swaying gently in the breeze. It was as close to paradise as one could get. And yet, he felt especially alone tonight. Maybe because he was trying to uphold a long-held tradition, one he had started with his late husband, Charlie. When they had lived together high up in the Hollywood Hills, they would have a date night every Friday at home. Indian food takeout, a cheesy movie, snuggling in bed. Making plans for their next exotic trip somewhere in the far reaches of the world, one that inevitably would never come to fruition due to Charlie's crushing work schedule as an LA homicide detective. But although Jared had a passion for travel, he never got angry or restless with him because he knew that Charlie's work was vitally important. So he never complained. Well, not much anyway. Jared had been an actor. Complaining was part of his built-in skill set. It had also been almost 10 years. Time had mostly healed the giant hole in his heart. But there were still moments, like whenever he craved Indian food. Tonight, for instance, he had returned home from play rehearsal and was famished, so he snatched up his phone and ordered food from Monsoon on Grubhub. Paneer tikka, vegetable samosas, extra tamarind sauce, some papadum. Mike Byrne. Have I said that name more than once tonight? Instinctively, he almost added an order of buttered chicken. That was Charlie's favorite. But he had caught himself. Jared poked at the cheese cube slathered in with onions and peppers on his plate with his fork. He had already made short work of the samosas and papadum and most of the side of rice and only had a couple more bites to go. But then he allowed his mind to wander to thoughts of his life long ago. The night they had first met. Charlie, then a beat cop, was called to the scene of a raucous, out-of-control party in Beechwood Canyon, which turned out to be just two people, Jared and his best friend Lorette, drunk on too many margaritas and howling so loud they had disturbed the neighbors. The sight of the handsome uniformed officer standing in the doorway to Lorette's apartment had taken Jared's breath away. He was not sure Charlie was even gay when he chased after him once he left after giving them a stern warning, satisfied they would lower the noise level. Jared had found himself out on the sidewalk next to Charlie's squad car, blathering on incoherently and nervously scribbling his number down on a napkin he had grabbed from Lorette's wet bar. Charlie's poker face over this ridiculous and embarrassing attempt to ask him out only fueled Jared's insecurities when the hot cop finally hopped back into his squad car and sped away. A week went by. Crickets. Jared even considered calling the police and reporting a prowler, hoping they might send that same strapping young officer he'd hit on. But cooler heads prevailed. Then he called, out of the blue, on a Sunday morning, his first day off in 2 weeks. Jared had pretended not to recognize Charlie's voice when he answered the phone, but of course he knew right away who it was. Charlie suggested coffee. Simple enough. If either one of them decided they were not interested, then they would only have to endure about 45 minutes to an hour of painful conversation. But that turned out not to be the case. Coffee led to a walk around West Hollywood, which led to dinner, which led to them heading back to Charlie's apartment on Fountain Avenue, where they spent the rest of the night talking. Yes, talking. And only talking. A rare occurrence when two gay men who were wildly attracted together to each other finally get together with a bedroom nearby. Then there was breakfast, more talking, and finally Jared driving home to the Hollywood Hills, totally and unreservedly in love. It had been the perfect first date. Charlie moved in 6 weeks later, and they were never apart again until the day he died. Jared stood up from the dining room table and carried his plate into the kitchen. He scraped the leftovers into a garbage bin underneath the sink. He felt another presence in the room. What are you looking at? There was no answer. He set the dirty plate and utensils down in the sink and turned around to confront a Maine Coon cat with a sourpuss face, his majestic tail swishing back and forth in evident boredom. His golden eyes, usually sparkling with mischief, now held a glint of longing as if imploring for attention. You're not getting any, so stop staring. Jared poured himself a glass of wine from the half-empty Cabernet bottle and padded into the living room with its vaulted high ceilings and mid-century decor. He plopped down on the couch to turn on the TV. He was planning on watching Gladiator with Russell Crowe, one of Charlie's all-time favorites. Charlie had always been more of a meat and potatoes action movie kind of guy, as opposed to Jared, who fell right into the gay stereotype of loving The Devil Wears Prada or Mean Girls. After an excruciatingly long rehearsal with his high-maintenance cast, Jared was in the mood to watch bloody sword fights and lots of heads cracking open. The cat jumped up on the couch and nestled down in Jared's lap as he surfed through the streaming apps with his remote in one hand while stroking the back of his cat's neck with his other. You're such a whore for attention, Barnaby. Barnaby closed his eyes and purred loudly. Jared tapped the remote, bringing up the movie but stopping short of pressing play. He glanced down at the cat curled up in his lap. Is watching this going to take me to a dark, messy place? What do you think? Jared reached under Barnaby's chin, rubbing gently, causing him to nod and purr even louder. Yeah, you're probably right. We should watch something else. How about a camp classic like Valley of the Dolls? Charlie fell asleep during it, long before Neely O'Hara's big emotional breakdown scene, while I could recite every word of Patty Duke's fabulously awful dialogue. Jared now petted the top of Barnaby's head. You could care less, couldn't you? I know you like Charlie better, because he was the one who picked you out at the animal shelter. You literally crawled on top of the other kittens, crying at the top of your lungs for him to lift you up and get you the hell out of there. He couldn't resist you, but you should thank me. He wanted to name you Cartman, after his favorite South Park character. I insisted we call you Barnaby, after Barnaby Jones. Charlie had never even heard of Barnaby Jones. I mean, Buddy Epson as a senior citizen private eye, come on, it was a TV classic. Lee Merriweather as his widowed daughter-in-law and loyal secretary, what a great show. With lots of cool 1970s guest stars. I was one of them, did you know that? It was my first acting credit. I was still a toddler at the time playing the abducted grandson of a wealthy bank president. Jared chuckled. Over the years, he'd grown used to talking out loud to his cat. It made the house feel less empty. So Kitty was trying to fix me up with a guy. He's very sexy, but maybe a little too young for me. I don't know. Just the idea of dating. What do you think? Barnaby was curled up in a ball, eyes closed and still purring. Jared continued gently petting him. I know what Charlie would say. He'd say it's time. You need to live your life. Don't keep pining over me. It's been 10 years. He glanced over at a framed photo of Charlie in his police uniform from the late 1990s. Wouldn't you? Barnaby shifted slightly, probably annoyed by Jared's incessant chattering, which was preventing him from drifting off to sleep. Jared looked down and grinned. Okay, message received. I'll stop bothering you. But unlike everyone else in my life, I know you would love for me to stay home all the time and just hang out with you all day and night. That would be so easy. Just committing to writing and directing this play had been a huge monumental decision, one he was already regretting. His phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen. It was a text from Isis, an old Hollywood friend he hadn't spoken to in years. What a blast from the past. He tried to remember the last time he had seen her. Maybe it was Charlie's memorial? But that was 10 years ago. What could she possibly want? Liv sat at her usual corner table at Starbucks, sipping her coffee, doom-scrolling the latest headlines on her phone. The door chimed as it opened, and Liv looked up to see her father, Jared, striding toward her with purpose in his step. Dad, what are you doing here? I need to talk to you, he said grimly, his eyes conveying a sense of urgency. How did you know I'd be here? You're here every morning like clockwork. You're a creature of habit, just like your papa Charlie. Liv checked her phone. Well, you'll have to walk with me. I'm late for my yoga class. She downed the rest of her coffee and popped up to her feet, grabbing her yoga mat. Jared followed quickly behind her out the door and onto the street. Outside, Liv slowed, falling in step beside him as they rushed down a bustling street full of tourists. How's the play going? Jared frowned. It's an unmitigated disaster. It's probably going to completely ruin my credibility both as an author and a director. I don't even know why I was foolish enough to say yes to this. Liv scoffed slightly, a smirk playing on her lips. Come on, Dad, you always say that and then opening night sells out, she teased. Jared shrugged with a sheepish grin. Well, that's because I always hire an actor who looks like a porn star. And I have him pose shirtless for the poster advertising the play. Inevitably, all the gays will show up, no matter how bad the production is, he explained with a wink. Liv rolled her eyes, shaking her head. Oh, you're shameless, she remarked. But there was fondness in her tone. That's not why I wanted to talk to you. I recently heard from an old friend. Do you remember Isis? Yes, I do. I overheard you and Papa Charlie talking about her. Wasn't she that fake clairvoyant who used to give you psychic readings? Liv, like Charlie, was a strict non-believer in any kind of otherworldly pursuits. Yes, but she isn't a fake. She actually has a real gift. Whatever, Dad. What kind of name is Isis anyway? Well, she was born in the 70s. Her parents named her after the Shazam Isis Hour from Saturday Morning Kids TV. Isis was a goddess superhero who wore an amulet that gave her the power of animals and the elements. Sort of like a poor man's Wonder Woman. The show was hugely popular to Liv. Her parents had no idea that one day Isis would become the name of a terrorist group that beheads people. It was very unfortunate for her. I haven't heard from her in years, but yesterday I received a text from her. She felt the need to get in touch with me because she had a vision in her mind, so I called her. Liv sighed dismissively. She gave you a psychic reading over the phone? Yes, they can do that. So, are you going to win the lottery or something? No, she didn't see me, she saw you. Me? You were standing over a dead body. Liv stopped in her tracks. What? Jared nodded gravely. It was definitely you. She recognized you from the Christmas card I sent out to everyone I know a few years ago. She believes the person you were standing over was murdered. Oh, come on, Dad. What is this? Was she shuffling her tarot cards and turned over the death card or something silly like that? No, and the death card doesn't always mean literal death. But trust me, Liv, Isis is good, real good. We have a long history. She's done this before. Years ago when I was younger and living in the Hollywood Hills, she predicted the same thing with me. She predicted a dead body, and then I discovered the corpse of an old friend floating dead in a swimming pool, and it turned out to be a homicide. I have to be honest, I can't believe someone of your intelligence actually buys into this crap. I mean, it is so Hollywood, all this psychic and new agey stuff. Liv started walking again. She was just like her Papa Charlie. Look, Liv, I'm just a little worried. She raised a hand, cutting him off. Okay, for the sake of argument, let's say she did see something. I'm planning to attend the opening night of your play. It's a murder mystery. There will be a dead body on stage. No, I told her about the play. That's not it. It's an actual dead body. She senses real danger ahead. Liv could not help but emit a derisive giggle. I know it sounds silly, but I really ought to call this woman and give her a piece of my mind for scaring you like this. You can be so impressionable. She could see the hurt in her father's face and softened a bit. So she just called you out of the blue with this premonition? I mean, when was the last time you spoke to her? I saw her at Charlie's memorial, but we didn't speak because I was too broken up to talk to anybody that day. But she did call a few months before Charlie died. She predicted he would be leaving his job as a detective soon, which I found utterly ridiculous. Your father loved his work. He wasn't ever going to quit. But then right after that, he got sick and died. Liv could feel her cheeks burning with anger. I can't believe you're putting any stock in this woman. It sounds to me like she's just trying to stir things up. She's never been wrong, Liv, at least not with me. He started peppering her with questions about what was going on in her life, trying to find any clue that might indicate there was some kind of trouble ahead, and she resented him for it. They hardly spoke as it was. Why try now? Just because some charlatan had come out of the woodwork with a cockamamie psychic prediction? They had reached the yoga studio. She leaned in and gave him an awkward kiss on the cheek. I gotta go, Dad. We'll talk about this later, okay? Jared nodded, disappointed that she was not taking him seriously. Eyes downcast, he mumbled, "Look, I'm sorry, Liv. I didn't mean to upset you. I'm fine. I'll call you." She gave him a quick wave and bounded inside the studio for class. She knew she had just lied to him. She had no intention of discussing this nonsense with him ever again. A decision she would come to regret. That's it.
One more trick.
So speaking of psychics, I happen to be blessed to be friends with a very famous person who's agreed to chat with me tonight about the book. And he's an actor, singer, dancer, and psychic. Basically a one-man Vegas residency. And he's also the star of The Dirty Show with Skyler Gentry. So please give it up for Coachella Valley's very own Skyler Gentry.
Oh my God! Thank you so much! Oh my gosh, look at all these hot guys here at a book signing. I need to take a Cialis for that. Hey, how are you, Rick?
I'm fine.
Wow, I was so honored that you asked me to interview you.
Yeah, you were on the list, yeah.
Oh.
It's still part of the season, so a lot of
Who
people
else
will be
is
able.
in the running?
Mike Byrne in the back.
Oh, zero pay. No Venmo. Okay, let's talk about
Let's
this
do
book.
this.
I'm excited about this book. You know why? Because it's pro-psychic. I like the fact that the
Yes.
psychic, I'm getting the feeling the psychic is going to play a big role in your book, right?
Not really.
Oh, because I was wondering about the film rights. Have those been secured yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, but who are you thinking for the role of the psychic? Because you know I'm an actor, singer, dancer, psychic. I was a
Right.
child actor. You know this.
Right, but she's 60, so I think a little old.
Oh! I can play 16. Would be a great. Now, okay, the spirits are telling me you're getting a lot of dick lately.
It's not from writing a book, believe me.
I'm surprised you called it. You should have called it "The Author Always Finds Stiffies." Okay. Now, what was your inspiration? Now, you did this as some sort of series.
Yes.
Before this, right?
Yes, way back. Well, I actually was working at Universal Studios.
Oh, he's calling me old. He worked at Universal during the horror years.
I was more like a lost runner. Yeah.
Were you a background with Dracula?
I was working as a writer, and I went to the network executives and I pitched an idea about a gay heart to heart. You know, like
And they immediately bought
and
it.
they were just like, "We're not there yet." Yeah, we're not there yet. So I went to the bookstore at a Barnes and Noble, and I saw that there were gay mysteries. So I wrote this novel and sent it to New York, and I'm with the same editor I was for back then, so for 20 some odd years.
Let's give him a big round of
Same
applause.
book editor.
Did he call in for this?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so you did.
So those 3 books came out, and it was
What were they entitled?
The Actor's Guide to Murder, The Actor's Guide to Adultery, and The Actor's Guide to Greed. And they progressively sold less, and less.
God, this is going to rejuvenate the series. They're still available, right?
Well, here's the thing about psychics, because I'm surprised you didn't predict this.
Yes.
But I had another psychic from Palm Springs who, at the time, the books did not perform well. They were just not, they weren't very popular. I mean, you know, the first one did okay, but then the other two were bombs. And so the psychic said to me around the same time, this character will come back someday. And I am like, you're out of your mind. This character, no one's buying these books, no one. And then 2 years ago, my editor, without any prompting, called me up and said, I want to bring Jared back, but move him to Palm Springs and make him older.
That's amazing.
And it became a father-daughter.
See, you gotta trust us psychics.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, are you single? You're with him? I'm kidding. I love you. Thanks for coming to the book signing. Okay.
You had to realize where you were for a minute.
Yeah. Book signing. We're nerds.
This isn't the game show, Ben. I mean, Skyler. That's Bart. I get so
okay, so if they have not read the first 3 books,
yeah.
you can buy them.
Yeah, you don't. Well,
right?
No, but they are coming out.
Resale.
They're going to be reissued as digital, like Kindle and notes.
Digital.
Yeah, and with new covers. So, but because I'm writing under my pen name Lee Hollis, and Rick my name is known for like gay, where are the bears, and everything. But my audience with a lot of my books are like women, older women with lots of cats, which is why Barnaby's book. And so that's why we wrote this book under Lee Hollis. But so when they're reissuing the old books, I just said to my editor, we got to take out the blowjob on page 72. And in fact, when that book first came out, I went, when I went back, when that first came out in 2003, I went to my hometown of Bar Harbor, Maine. My 3rd grade teacher showed up and bought the book. And then a week later, I was still in town for Christmas, and I saw her in the grocery store, and she came, Ricky Cobb, I need to speak with you. And before she even said anything, I said, I am so sorry about page 72. And she looked around, she said, it was my favorite part. She's sex positive, Mrs. Holloway.
So did you explain where Lee Hollis came from?
Yes. My editor wanted to be, right around the time we were starting the show, we were like, what are we going to do with our lives? And so he came, so we were working on our show, but then we also, I'm sorry. No,
I wasn't a part of that, by the way.
That's right. You're
no,
a
remember
character.
you cast the guy who looks like me.
Yeah.
He's a shitty actor. Okay, I don't know why you cast him. He's weird.
But
I didn't even get a reading. Go ahead.
So I decided, my sister was writing cooking columns in our hometown in Maine, and so we kind of based this, my editor's like, and he had just met Holly, so he was like, oh, well, you should do a book around her, and so I did. I said, but can I use her to write these columns, like her columns with recipes within, so every book has food in the title. And so he said, absolutely, so I brought her in, but we decided we didn't want both our names on the book. So her middle name is Lee, and my grandfather's name is Hollis, so Lee Hollis.
Okay, somebody's having some sort of condo board meeting over here. Like the HOA. What's happening with who's bonus?
That's my host George, who did all the food and everything.
Yeah, let's go.
Presentation. He would kill me if I didn't put it out.
The spirits are telling me he's just itching to grab this mic. It's not gonna happen.
It's like you know me.
Our show.
Yeah.
Okay, so your sister, so do they know about your other series of books?
Yes, the Haley Powell Food and Cocktails Mysteries, which we are, we're writing number 19
Jeez.
right now. It's the last one, and then we're moving to a sequel series. It features the same characters.
Oh, okay, so a whole new thing.
It's a whole new, it's going to be a whole series.
You've got a lot going on in the writing world.
The writing world.
What are your other books? Do you have another series?
I have a new series. Well, I'm wrapping up 2 series, but another series called The Down East Maine Mysteries, about 3 generations of Maine women. Okay. And the first one's called The Chowder House Murder, and that'll be out next year.
So basically, you just take some sort of food item and then some sort of murder,
Yeah.
and then you shove them
together. Yeah.
I guess we all could do that, right? Put like ingredients in a bowl. like fried chicken or pasta.
We did. Like, that was Death of a Country Fried Redneck.
Knife or gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you always
it's the pasta gun murders.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Got it.
Listen, so is there anything else you want people to know about, well, you said the Audible is really good, right?
Yeah. Well, I was shocked because every book I've ever written, the actors playing the Audible, all
Yeah,
the
I
actors
mean,
are
I
really, it's terrible. I'll be right honest. But the guy reading this, I think is really good. He does all the different voices, and I should have, as I said, I should have just had it.
You were great. 13 minutes. 13 hours. Oh gosh, wow, this has been so much fun. Is there anything else you want to plug or any other people you want to plug? I see all of the people you slept with. All here.
There's a few still on the checklist.
We're opening up for questions. Right?
Oh yeah, if anyone has any questions.
And if you clam up, I'll read your mind and ask him a question. So you better have some questions.
I know
Who has questions? Not him. Ooh.
That Audible book sounds really good. Now, if you bought a book today, are you able to trade that in?
No.
What kind of question is that? Cheapo. Who else has a question for the author? I feel like Oprah.
You get a car.
How much control do you have over the cover?
None. I mean, what they do is they ask me, what are your thoughts? And a lot of times they'll use my ideas, but I don't have any, they're like, this is it.
Have you ever hated one and said,
yes.
I just don't want this?
No, I've never said that because, and that's why I've been able to work at the same publisher.
Of course. Who else? Anybody else have a question?
Other than Skyler, who have you pulled from in your real life that has shown up in your books?
Oh gosh, so many people. In fact, in this book, my dear friend Butch in the back, although the characters are not based on him, but I use his name, his two names, Butch and his real name Zelmar.
Does he know that?
Yes, and I told him right away. So I use his names, but then there are characters like the Haley Powell is totally my sister. And a lot of the locals in the town, we set it right in our hometown of Bar Harbor. So a lot of the characters are, but we've gotten, am I really that bitchy? And the only person that does not recognize her character, even though it's completely based on her, is my mother. Like, she'll be the mother that that woman is awful. Where do you get these ideas from? I mean, it's just get the bite your tongue.
Any other questions? About you? Go ahead.
How long does it take you to write that?
Because I'm a whore for money and I just want to make money. I write several at a time. Like when I'm writing one, and it usually takes about 2 months to plot it out, 3 months to write a draft, and then 2 months to rewrite it. So whatever that is, 7 months. But while I'm doing that, I'm also plotting out the next one and outlining the next one and rewriting, that kind of stuff.
So keep that in mind. Just like I said, you get no cards, cream of mushroom soup. Fried mushrooms. Throw it in a bowl. Then pick kidnapping. Rape. Cancel me. Cancel. Then draw them out on YouTube and just crank them out. That easy. And with AI, but you don't use. I'm against AI.
Are you?
I'm going to take that stand. Skyler Gentry hates it. I hate AI. You don't use AI.
I not for actual writing, but I do for it's a great research tool.
Well, yes, it's like a dictionary. Right?
Computer. He's an actor and he has a daughter. And he finds a corpse. Go.
That's not it. Just paid how much for it?
Cut paste.
I don't even know.
Okay.
But I want free.
Computer.
No refunds.
I think that's it. We should
I think
probably
that's
wrap
it.
this up.
Yes, and there's so much more food and wine. Please stay and enjoy.
Stay around, party, have fun, and thanks for coming. Guys. Music.
Now I'm online. Thank you, Joe, for doing that.
You did great.
Oh, Pete.
Oh, it worked out perfect.